Welcome back to Terror by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, this is my second video I'm recording. It's a little after 5 o'clock on August 21st. I want to read on the DNC and what the energy is like after the speakers of the DNC go. My other reading I'm going to put up at noon Pacific time on Thursday, August 22nd. And it's just a fun little snarky read. Give you a hint. It's about Obama commenting about Trump obsessing over crowd sizes. It's a fun one. Not that you wouldn't mind laughing first thing in the morning with your coffee, but I saved as a midday treat. So if you're interested in that one, noon Pacific time, 3 o'clock Eastern time, 9 o'clock Irish time. Anyways, this one's going to be on the energy around the DNC. I watched listened to a number of speakers, and I watched Obama's speech last night. Today on TikTok, I caught some of the roll calls, and a lot of TikTokers were putting up comparisons between the Republican roll call and the Democratic one. The Republican was very formal, was dry, some pomp and circumstance, but mostly just boring. And the Democratic one was a frickin' house party. A lot of energy and enthusiasm. I mean, I had somebody in the comment section say, well, why? There should be some decorum. It's like, think about it. It's a celebration. You are nominating your president, your vice president for the 2024 election. There should be some enthusiasm. You should be enthusiastic about your candidate. Yeah, you can have pomp and circumstance like during the inauguration ceremony or something like that. But we can have a pomp and circumstance one on election night if they win? Heck no, you're going to have a party and balloons and champagne and music playing and just having a good old time. The Democrats, I've been watching TikToks, I've been watching their DNC. They're getting it. They are absolutely getting it. They are totally leaning in to the joy, the excitement, the energy, the buzz. And that is a bright light that's going to attract a lot of attention, a lot of things to it. It brings people into the camp when you're having a good time. Who wants to hang around with a bunch of miserable people that are just, griping about the world? Wouldn't you rather be with the fun ones? That doesn't mean that they can't work hard, but they also don't want to play. Come on down, let's look at the energy around the DNC Day 3 with Tim Walz as the keynote speaker. Entertainment purposes only. Foundation of the reading is the Four of Coins. This is about keeping things close to the vest. Maybe Tim Walz, maybe his speech, for instance, maybe it's not too controversial. He keeps it conservative-ish. That hasn't been the vibe, but that might be one way around it. But this could also be the comparison with the Republicans who are down, whereas the Democrats are having an absolute party. Tim Walz might be... he might keep some things close to the vest. Obviously he's the VP pick. He's been chosen by Kamala Harris on that one. And he's the he's the person who pointed out how weird the Republicans were, which I think that's really what's been like the key moment for him, was his ability to take the Republicans down to an adjective that declawed them. And they have been reeling ever since with that. Again, the festivities may be a little bit calmer tonight than previous nights, just because of what's going on. In the past, you got the Emperor card here. Again, we're reading about the energy around the DNC. It's appointing your new leaders. Previous ones used to be more serious toned. That's been changed for this DNC. Current situation is the Eight of Swords. In some ways, the DNC has been restricted. Even the RNC was showing this, that, hang on for just a second. Sorry, brief interruption here. The national conventions tend to be very stodgy affairs. Keep things close to the vest, don't cause controversy, act presidential. But Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have seemed to have cast that. They're no longer held to the traditional ways people do things. Maybe it's better, instead of sitting there close and tight, to cut loose and really let go. Yeah, some people are going to say it's weird, it's immature, whatever. They're not part of the party. They're not interested in the party. Overarching energy is the judgment card. It's a party when somebody's playing the horn, everybody gets up to disco dance. Again, the GOP keep it tight to the vest, talk about traditions and, very serious, somber affair. And Republicans can't ever break those molds because they don't feel safe doing that. And they're afraid that if they do that, people will judge them. Whereas the Democrats are now breaking free of those. They're not going to be held to that. And that trumpet, instead of a judgment, they're going to, instead of somebody to have a trumpet to say, judge this person, they're going to bring a saxophone player and they're going to bring a party. And everybody, instead of judging, can just get up and dance. The Republicans, lesson to be learned, nobody's interested. The Democrats, the viewership, and looking at the viewership, it's up like 40% over what the Republicans had for their convention. I think the numbers I was looking at today was like day 2 of the RNC. They had about like almost 15 million viewers, and the DNC had like almost 21 million viewers. So it was like a 40% increase in the viewership for the DNC. It's the Republican way of doing things is just not many people's cup of tea. It's no fun. It's not interesting. This one, no, they're going to try something different. Every day, something different. Kamala's coming out on day 4. And there she is. Outcome is the 9 of coins. Don't show the bride at her wedding type of thing. Tim Walz, he may be a little bit reserved. I could be wrong on that one. But what everybody's waiting for is Kamala, her coming out party tomorrow, when she gives her speech. That's going to be, that one should just rock the world. And the 9 of coins is, no, that's the outcome. This might be Kamala's idea. I'm not sure if, they wouldn't have done it if she said no. Whether she came up with the idea or somebody pitched her the idea and she says, I like that. Let's go that way with it. Regardless, it doesn't really matter whose idea it was. She okayed it, and I think the Democrats are hitting it out of the park. I mean, and a lot of people in the comments, who here's watched a Democratic National Convention before? I've never watched any national convention. Why would I want to do that? This stuff's been entertaining. I had to check to see if Kenan Thomas, yeah. He's a SNL personality, comedian. He plays Darnell Hayes, who's the host of Black Jeopardy, amongst other recurring characters of his. And I'd be curious to watch his speech. Comedians tend to be very smart. They have to be really smart and sharp and can think on their feet. It's kind of a thing. And, Zelensky, President Zelensky in Ukraine is a comedian. He's an actor. He basically played on the Ukrainian version of The West Wing. So, just little random trivia facts sharing with you here. Okay, Tim Walz. How's Tim Walz's speech? How well is that going to be received by the audience in the country? 2 of Swords. It's crossroads. What's going on? What do we got going on with this? On the one hand, we've got the trapped and letting go, projecting strength, and the Devil card. Interesting. I knew this card was going to come up. I knew it. His nature, I think, is to be reserved And to come out and be jolly and a fun warrior, that's probably pushing the envelope for him. Well, he's got a couple of strengths, right? He was in the military for years, so he's okay with regimentedness. But he also understands his responsibility to people that aren't represented, that feel trapped in their positions. He also understands that people's bad behaviors can come back. He's certainly, with his drunk driving conviction back in his late 20s and 30s, he was at a crossroads. He went inside for strength. Did he want to risk having that? No, running into that problem again? No. What did he do? He stopped drinking. I used self-control. I went inside. I used self-control. I'm not going to hit the ball anymore because I don't want to ever be in that position again. With his speech, it might be, he might talk about his past. He might just to say, the troubles he ran into and what he overcame. Kind of as using it as an inspirational message for the listeners there. That trying to connect with people. That he's had his personal struggles that he's overcome, and that we as a country have a lot of struggles that we have to overcome. His speech may not be as dynamic as folks want it to be. There's with this card coming up twice, there just seems to be this this edge or this vibe that he might be guarded. He may not fully have the party-like atmosphere or he may not be one of the great orators. Now, I've seen him speak before. He speaks really well. So I feel bad saying that, and I could very well be wrong. I might be misinterpreting what that Two of Swords and that Four of Coins is, and probably after his speech tonight, I'll have a better vibe for it. It just might be that he doesn't light it up quite like the other speakers, like the Obamas could do. You get to follow Barack Obama as the keynote speaker of a night. How do you think you're going to do? Sorry, that's a tough act to follow. That's a real tough act to follow. Both Obamas, Michelle and Barack Obama. Whew. I'm chuckling because, the only better place for the Obamas speaking on the second night is speaking on the last night because they're accepting the nomination. But he can't. He's already had his 2 terms. And Michelle doesn't want the job. As much as we want her to want the job, she don't want it, and we respect that. She'd be amazing with it. Okay. How does Tim Walz feel about his DNC speech after it's all said and done? I got the Magician here just popping up. I'll leave that out. It's going to be a 4-carder, but maybe I'll just make it a 2 signifiers. The Magician's a good one. I don't think it's an illusion. I think it's him being real. He's going to be real. He's going to be very real with people. Yeah. Real and practical. Real practical. Now again, mind you, real practical does not necessarily make exciting. Oatmeal is real and practical. It's not it's not steak fajitas by any stretch of the imagination, but it's a lot simpler to make, and on a cold day it's going to stick in your innards and keep you feeling fuller longer. It's not that there's anything wrong with steak fajitas, but every once in a while you need to mix up some oatmeal with it. Justice card. Yeah, I think he's going to talk about his challenges that he had, his ability to reach out to people and make those connections, and just a hard worker. Yeah, he's going to, in the agreements, he's going to really lean into his accomplishments in Minnesota that he did for kids and for working families, and all the good stuff. He's going to lean into all the good stuff. He will probably share an anecdote about his drinking problem, how he overcame it, the hard work that came with it, the valuable lessons he learned from it, and how he's transformed as a person for that. He might do that, and the message might be that this country is really divided, and in order for us to heal, we need to be able to accept that people make mistakes, but they can do better. And to give them the chance to do better. It might very well be a message that's like that. And again, given the party-like atmosphere that the DNC, that's going to be kind of one of those grown-up sober moments that, oh man, we were having a good time with this party. Why are you being such a buzzkill? But I do think it's that message. You know, you can have all the joy and hope, but that joy and hope needs to be inclusive, and that could be what that 4 of coins is you've got to include everybody, even the people with the coins on your feet that trampled all over your feelings. Okay. Well, we'll see. It's now exactly 5:30 p.m. as I wrap this up. He'll go on tonight at, I think they wanted about 8 o'clock last night. They went to like 8 to, the keynote speakers went from 8 to 9. So it was like midnight when they wrapped up. So another couple hours, I'll know if I was right or not. You'll know the next day. Anyways, thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. Mind you, this reading is for entertainment purposes only. I do hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.